how to develop leadership. Yeah, based on FED, of course. Yeah. So before I so-called elaborate more on how to develop this, yeah, of course I will cover only on the surface. Yeah, to know more, you can always PM me. Yeah, then we can talk further. But then again, to kickstart on this development, something to ponder. Yeah, whatever it is, my dear friend. Yeah, leadership development needs consistency. Agree? For whatever it is, you want to be successful, you need to be consistent, right? But when you talk about leadership development specifically, I would like you to observe this particular video again, about 3 minutes video, yeah, from a gentleman called Simon Sinek. I think many of us aware about him. Yeah, he will talk about what is required when we want to develop leadership. Very interesting, simple, but that again to me is very, very important. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to this short video. Why, what we need for leadership development. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to this.
Do you love your wife? Yes. Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, you didn't love her. Now you love her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question. But it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? Leadership is the same thing. It's about transition. So if you were to go to the gym, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action, you stick with it. Like in a relationship, I bought her flowers and I wished her happy birthday, and she doesn't love me. Clearly I'll give up. That's not what happens. If you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency, right? You go to the dentist twice a year, your teeth will fall out. You have to brush your teeth every day for 2 minutes. What does brushing your teeth twice a day for 2 minutes do? Nothing. Unless you do it every day, twice a day for 2 minutes, right? It's the consistency. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. So the problem is we treat leadership with intensity. We have a 2-day offsite, we invite a bunch of speakers, we give everybody a certificate. You're a leader, right? Those things are like going to the dentist. They're very important. They're good for reminding us or getting us back on track, learning new lessons. But it's the daily practice of all the monotonous, little, boring things like brushing your teeth that matter the most. She didn't fall in love with you because you remembered her birthday and bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. She fell in love with you because when you woke up in the morning, you said good morning to her before you checked your phone. She fell in love with you because when you went to the fridge to get yourself a drink, you got her one without even asking. She fell in love with you because when you had an amazing day at work and she came home and she had a terrible day at work, you didn't say, yeah, but let me tell you about my day. You sat and listened to her awful day and you didn't say a thing about your amazing day. This is why she fell in love with you. I can't tell you exactly what day, and it was no particular thing you did. It was the accumulation of all of those little things that she woke up one day and as if she pressed a button, she goes, I love him. Right? Leadership is exactly the same. There's no event. There's no thing I can tell you you have to do that your people will trust you. It doesn't work that way. It's an accumulation of lots and lots of little things that anyone by themselves is innocuous and useless. Literally, pointless by themselves. People will look at little things that are good leadership practices and say, that won't work. And you're absolutely right. But if you do it consistently, and you do it in combination with lots of other little things, like saying good morning to someone, that looking them in the eye. My friend George, who's a 3-star general in the Marine Corps, he says his test for leadership, and I love this, he goes, his test for a good leader is if you ask somebody how their day is going, you actually care about the answer. The number of times we're walking to a meeting, we're rushing, we go, how are you? Not good. I gotta get to you later. I'm late for a meeting. If you ask the question, you were standing there and you were listening to the answer. It's those little innocuous things that you do over and over and over and over that people will say, I love my job. Not I like my job. I like my job means, yeah, the challenge is great, they pay me well, I like the people. I love my job means I don't want to work anywhere else. I don't care how much somebody else is willing to pay me. I'm devoted to the people here, and I care desperately about the people here as if they were my family. In business, we have colleagues and coworkers. In the military, they have brothers and sisters. That's how they think of each other. If you really have a strong corporate culture, the people will think of each other like brothers and sisters. It's like a family, right? No. Brothers and sisters. Deep love. Fight, but the love doesn't go away. Bicker, the love doesn't go away. And I'll fight with my sister, but if you threaten my sister, you're gonna have to deal with me. Right? We'll fight internally, we'll bicker with each other, but nobody's gonna hurt each other, and if anything from the outside shows up, you're looking at a unified front. Brothers and sisters. Now, how do you create brothers and sisters out of strangers? Common beliefs, common values, parents, in other words, executives who care about their children's success, who care to raise their children, teach them skills, discipline them when necessary, help them build their self-confidence so that they can go on and achieve something more than you could have ever imagined achieving for yourself. That's leadership.
Okay, my dear friend, a thought about how to develop leadership. So if you really seriously about developing leadership, it's no point we talk about theory after theory after theory. Yeah. So for that matter, because we seriously want to develop leadership. For that matter, we have this so-called culture of champion, whereby comprise series of sharing ideas plus applying the ideas to in particular area of work, and then we follow up with coaching. So there will be a series of this so-called matter. Now this is no joke. Yeah? This is very serious matter. Yeah, and especially during the apply the project, apply the idea to the project and the coaching session. This is where, from my personal experience, the real learning happened. Yeah. So then from here, basically, what idea that we share in order to create this matter, again from observation. We need to attack the so-called the mindset. For that matter, you can see here 1, 2, 3, and 4 basically is a webinar, yeah, whereby we share how to develop these 4 types of mindset: growth mindset, leadership mindset, business mindset, and collaborative mindset. In fact, this particular program, yeah, is part and parcel of the program called Developing Leadership Mindset. Yeah, so you can see how we go about doing it, because it is not about theory. Yeah, it's about how it relates to your own work or your own life. That's what really matters. Yeah. So having said all this, how we see how this is going to benefit us. Yeah, it's all started with this equation again: goal, leadership, results. Yeah, and then we will focus on these 3 areas: future, engage, deliver. In order to help us to develop the future engage deliver, we come up with the 4 modules that I mentioned just now. Because all this module, growth mindset, they touch here and there on future engage deliver. So at the end of the day, it gives you some kind of a good start to develop your leadership. Yeah, and in doing so, we also apply what we call, this is what I call, we start to have build up. Yeah, we build up the momentum for us to lead things. Yeah, and also in some organization, they are focusing on what we call their core values. So we blend all this practice with the core values, because again, core values, they touch about the emotional part and the spiritual part of us, not only intellectual. Many people, when come to values, they only talk about intellectual. Yeah, they put the so-called value on the so-called on the wall and expect people to subscribe to it. That's nuts. Yeah. So we need to talk about it, to practice it, and this must involve the emotional part of us and also our spiritual part. Yeah. So if we doing it in this manner, God willing, slowly but surely, we can create what we call breakthrough in whatever we do. Yeah, this whole thing is what I call as our culture of champions flyway. And in applying this, again, my dear friend, we really what we call subscribe to what we call common sense. Yeah, because in order to adopt and adapt this idea in one particular area, definitely we need a lot of common sense. But now again, I think as you guys fully aware, common sense is not that common nowadays. Yeah. So I think again, this is what the world require. This is all basic. Yeah. It's nothing rocket science about it. It's so simple. What different about it? Because we get all this idea that we being be introduced to in as what I call this instead of looking at it in silo. For example, look at growth mindset in silo of leadership in silo of business in silo of collaborative. Then that's what the problem started. We need to get all these idea complement each other. Martin, yeah, when you talk about business mindset, this is where I use BMC, and I use BMC in different approach. Danny can be my so-called, Danny actually have gone through that. I think Danny can, can be my good testimony lah on that, Danny. Yeah. So this is the whole picture that we have to offer in order to to develop leadership. I must say, this is not a quick fix. If I can do it in a quick fix manner, I'll be a multi-billionaire nowadays. Yeah. Again, it is so-called it's a journey, and a journey that's something that we need to subscribe to. It's not only touch and go. It's something that we need to adhere to. God willing, we arrive to our so-called destination. Yeah.